Good evening, guys. Am I audible? Am I audible? Can someone confirm? Yes, sir. Oh. So what was the last topic we were discussing yesterday? I think we were seeing the maximum height formula, right? That is what I remember. Yeah. Right. Confirm if you guys are able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yesterday we started with a new chapter, that is motion in a plane, and we were discussing about the projectile motion, an object oblique projectile, that is a projectile projected at an angle theta with respect to x-axis, right? So in which we got the maximum height to be u square sine square theta divided by 2g. Any doubt from yesterday's concept? Is there anything that you didn't understand or something? Can I assume things were clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next is, we will calculate the formula for time of flight. The next formula is for time of flight. So let us look at the equations, okay? I just want to share the knowledge of how I think generally when I solve problems. So the three equations of motion are v square minus u square is equal to as, v is equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus half at square. First of all, what are all these three? What are these three equations? They are the equations of motion. Am I right? So these are the equations of motion for an object which is under what acceleration? Moving under a constant acceleration. So in this case, are we allowed to apply? Yesterday I applied a formula, but before that we didn't think, are we allowed to apply this formula? Are we allowed to apply? Because the only acceleration acting on the object is the acceleration due to gravity, and we know that the acceleration due to gravity is constant near the surface of the earth. So that is why we are able to apply these equations. Now, since our job is to calculate the time of flight, which equation among the three is advisable for us to apply? Which among the three equations are we supposed to apply?
Sir, is it the third one?
So, what is the advantage of third one? Why not second? Why not we go with the second? At least try, no, guys. Third is right only, but think of the thing. Think of the fact, no. Why can't we apply second? Try at least. Why is no one speaking, first of all?
Sir, we don't know the final velocity.
That's right. Be confident, no, that's right. Because we don't know the final velocity with which it is hitting the ground. Right? So the only fact that we know is we can apply S is equal to ut plus half at square. So what we will do is we will apply S is equal to ut plus half at square along which direction? I told you yesterday, in the case of two-dimensional motion, we need to be very careful with direction. So we will apply this formula along y direction. Look at the way I wrote the equation. Displacement along y direction is equal to initial velocity along y direction into t plus half into acceleration along y direction into t square. Okay. So when the particle has traveled from this point to, let's say, point B, what is the displacement of the particle in the y direction?
Sir, H max.
No. Between points O and B. Between points O and B, what is the displacement of the particle in the y direction? It is 0. Because the coordinates of this point is 0, 0 and the coordinate of this point is r, 0. Look at the y coordinate. Is there any change in the y coordinates? Right. So whereas had I put the question as what is the displacement of the particle between O to A along y direction, then what you told is right. That then it is H max. Okay. So 0 is equal to what is the initial velocity along y direction? It is u sine theta into the time taken by the particle is t plus half into what is the acceleration of the particle throughout its journey? Minus g into t square. So 0 is equal to t into u sine theta minus g by 2 into t. There is reason why I didn't cancel t, because the displacement of the particle along y direction is 0 even in the initial scenario. So there are two values of time throughout its journey where the displacement of the particle in y direction is 0. So one is at this initial phase and the second is when you have t is equal to 2u sine theta divided by g, and this 2u sine theta divided by g is what is called as the time of flight. Is that clear, guys? So t is equal to 2u sine theta divided by g is the time of flight. Yesterday I told you a logic, right? Had the value of theta be 90 degrees, then t will be 2u divided by g. Revisit the concept of an object moving under the influence of gravity. Then you will get the total time of flight as 2u by g. Because here also it is a special case. Am I clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, the last thing that we are supposed to find is the horizontal range. So as the name suggests, horizontal is related to which axis?
X-axis.
X-axis, right? So for horizontal range, what I'm going to do is I will apply the same formula S is equal to ut plus half at square. I'll apply the same formula S is equal to ut plus half at square along x direction. So displacement of the particle along x is equal to ux into t plus half into ax into t square. Right? So what is the displacement of the particle in x direction? It is r. What is ux? Ux will be u cos theta. U cos theta into the time taken by the particle to go from O to B is how much? What is the time taken by the particle to travel from O to B? Is it not the time of flight plus the acceleration along x direction is 0? So this will be u cos theta into what is the time of flight, guys? It is 2u sin theta the whole divided by g, and this will be 2u square sin theta into cos theta the whole divided by g. So what is 2 sin theta into cos theta, guys? I hope you guys know this formula. Have they started trigonometry in your school? So there is a formula called sin 2 theta, where sin 2 theta is nothing but 2 sin theta into cos theta.
Sir, why is half AT square 0?
Because acceleration along x direction is 0. This table says that. Yesterday we prepared, no? Now is it clear? So this is the formula
Yes,
for
sir.
good. So this is the formula for horizontal range.
Sir, then if G is 0, then this should also be 0, right?
Which is 0. Which is
No,
0.
sir, never mind. Never mind, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So these three are the important formulae. So what are they? Maximum height. Let's prepare a table for this. Maximum height is u square sine square theta divided by 2g. Time of flight is 2u sine theta divided by g. And the range is u square sine 2 theta divided by g. Am I clear? So these are the three formulae. There is something important I want to share with you. For, please make a note here. For the same velocity of projection, the particle can have the same range when the angles of projection are complementary of each other. Are complementary means if one is theta, the other should be 90 minus theta. Let's try to prove it, no? So let's see the proof for it. Let an object be projected at velocity u at angles theta 1 and theta 2. Okay. Let their ranges be the same. Let their ranges be the same. So u square sine 2 theta 1 divided by g will be equal to u square sine 2 theta 2 divided by g. Did you understand why I wrote only u square? Because the important condition for the angles to be complementary is their velocities should also be the same. Please underline that word. Okay, so u square and u square will get cancelled. G and G will also get cancelled. Sine 2 theta 1 is equal to sine 2 theta 2, which implies theta 1 is equal to theta 2, or observe sine 2 theta 1 can be written as sine of 180 minus 2 theta 2 also. Why did I write it like this? Because sine of 180 minus theta, you guys know this fact, right? That sine is positive in the first and the second quadrant. So sine 2 theta 1 is equal to sine of 180 minus 2 theta 2, which implies theta 1 is equal to 180 minus 2 theta 2, which implies, 2 theta 1 is equal to 180 minus 2 theta 2. Then theta 1 will be equal to 90 minus theta 2. Means if one of the angles is theta 1, the other angle will be 90 minus theta 1. You're able to understand? Hence, angles are supposed to be complementary.
Sir,
Please tell me.
sir, I don't understand why we are using like two theta.
Because that is a formula, no? The formula for range is u square sine 2 theta by g.
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay. Got it? See, now I'll show you something. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So we know the fact that all these formulae are derived under what condition? Are derived under the condition that the air resistance is 0. Now, what are they trying to tell? That for the same initial velocity, if you keep the angle of projection at two different values, then you can attain the same range, right? See, for example, if I take one of the angles as $70. Okay. Let me take it as 80 itself. Okay, I took it as 81. I projected something. The object is going and hitting the ground. So what should be the angle of projection so that you can find the object at the same point?
9 degree.
Oh, I can't attain 9 on this. I'm sorry, guys. So what we will do, we'll go with 50 something. Okay. I'll go with 60. So I went with 60 and I'm able to find the object there. Now I will adjust it to.
Sir,
So are you presenting?
we are not
I
able to
pres-
see your screen, sir.
I presented, no? Did it get cut now?
And now
Now
we
it's
can see,
visible, sir.
No, okay. So I projected at 60 degrees and you're able to see, I found the object at one of the at the end point. Now I've kept it at 30 degrees. See what will happen. Yes. Are you able to understand what will happen? Let's repeat it for some other value also. Let's say we are doing it for 40. Okay, the range is zoom out. So you are able to see, the range is somewhere over here. So let's adjust it to 50. I 50 is precisely a little difficult for me. See, but 51 I kept. They're able to see, they're almost the same. Right? This is what happens, provided you don't change what? You're not supposed to change the initial velocity. Okay. Am I clear? Next. But what is the thing that is changing, guys? Did you observe one thing? There is something that is changing. Though the range is same, you can say that the maximum height will change and the time of flight will also change. Okay, those two are different quantities, but this value is still going to be the same. Range is going to be the same. Clear? Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Now the next topic is called as equation of projectile. So we are going to derive a mathematical equation for this projectile. If I take this as x, this as y, we will derive the mathematical equation for it. So if the object is projected at an angle theta, then it is going to go in this kind of a path and hit the ground somewhere over here. If I take this as O and this as B, and let me take this point as A, right? So if you observe, I will take this coordinate as x comma y, such that when I drop the perpendicular, the displacement of the particle in x direction is x, and the displacement of the particle in y direction is y. Okay. So let's say at some instant t, the particle is at a point p x comma y. Okay. Then let's say u is the initial velocity, theta is the angle. Let this be u cos theta and this be u sin theta. At some instant t, the particle is at point p x comma y. Then the displacement of the particle along x direction is given as ux into t plus half into ax into t square. So if I apply the values here, x will be equal to u cos theta into some time t plus half into acceleration is minus g into t square. Okay, let me call this as equation number 1. Similarly, if I apply the same formula along y direction, then I'll get y is equal to u sin theta into t. Oh, I'm extremely sorry. There is a mistake in the first equation. Can you guys tell me? It's a very big mistake which I made. Let's see.
Sir, acceleration is 0.
Yes. Acceleration is 0. Right. So, wait, we'll do one thing. So from here, I can say t is equal to x divided by u cos theta. Right. So y is equal to u sin theta into t plus half into acceleration is minus g into t square. Take this t and substitute it in this equation. You will get y is equal to u sin theta into t is how much? X divided by u cos theta plus half into minus g into t square. That is x square divided by u square cos square theta. Okay. U and u will get cancelled. Then y will be equal to x into sin theta by cos theta is tan theta minus gx square divided by 2u square cos square theta. So x tan theta minus gx square divided by 2u square cos square theta is what we call it as the equation of a projectile. This is a very, very important derivation from exam point of view, and from problem solving point of view, it is very important because most of the problems which involve distances, right? Most of the problems where you are asked to calculate distances can be solved using this one equation.
Sir, can you scroll up a bit?
Sure. Is it enough?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Done?
Sir, could you scroll up a bit?
Sure.
So you can scroll down, sir.
Okay. Now, if y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, we know that this is a second degree polynomial. Then the second degree polynomial will represent an upward parabola if the value of a is greater than 0, and it will represent a downward parabola if the value of a is less than 0. Means a is the coefficient of x square. So if the coefficient of x square is negative, then it represents a downward parabola. Now observe this equation. The coefficient of x square is g divided by 2u square cos square theta. So this represents a downward parabola. That is why if you see the motion of the particle, it is the shape of a downward parabola. Is it not like this? So that is why we call it as equation of projectile. It's nothing but a equation of a parabola. Okay. Done with this? Right. So these are all the important terms that are related to projectile motion. We will try out some problems based on this. Okay. So when you talk about the projectile which is fired at a specific angle, at an angle with horizontal. Okay. Then for a projectile motion with initial velocity u at an angle theta with the horizontal, ux will be equal to u sin theta, sorry, ux will be u cos theta and uy will be u sin theta, ax is 0, ay is minus. So position of the particle after time t is u cos theta into t, and y is will be equal to u sin theta into t minus half gt square. From this only we got the equation of projectile. So equation of trajectory or equation of projectile is y is equal to x tan theta minus gx square divided by 2u square cos square theta. You have to remember this. Maximum height, time of flight, and horizontal range we have already seen. Okay. So this is the point I have to explain. So when will the horizontal range be maximum? So what is the formula for range? It is u square sine 2 theta divided by g. No? So here, who is the deciding factor? If the velocity is fixed, you can make the adjustments in the angles of projection such that you will be able to attain maximum range for a fixed velocity. So who will decide it? It is sine 2 theta. So what is the maximum value of sine days?
1.
1. So sine 2 theta is equal to 1. So what is the value of angle which will give sine as 1?
90 degrees.
90. So theta will be equal to 45 degrees. So maximum range for a fixed velocity can be attained when the value of angle of projection is 45 degrees, either with respect to the horizontal or with the vertical, because the formula is still, because 45 degrees with respect to 90 is an angular bisector, right? And its value, what is going to be the maximum value? It is u square divided by g, because sine 2 theta will be 1. So r will be u square divided by g. Okay. So based on all these formulae, let's do some problems. I'll be uploading this assignment today, okay, in the app. You guys have to complete it before tomorrow. There will be 10 or, wait, let me see, I think there are 20 problems. You can do the 10 problems from where I have stopped. So first one, there is a cricket ball which is thrown at a speed of 28 meters per second in the direction 30 degrees above the horizontal. Calculate the maximum height. Do it fast. So solution. U is equal to how much? 28 meters per second, and theta will be equal to 30 degrees. Calculate the maximum height. What is the formula for maximum height? H max is equal to u square sine square theta divided by 2g. (28 square sine square 30 divided by, you can take the value of g as 10. Okay. So 28 into 28 into sine 30 is half. So 1 by 2 into 1 by 2, the whole divided by 10. So this will go 14 times. This will go 14 times. Okay. If I take 9.8, so we'll get the answer. So 14 into 14 is, okay, I forgot it. So 2 into 196 divided by 19.6, it is going to be 10 meters. So the maximum height is 10 meters. Then what about the time taken by the ball to return to the same level? That is, they're asking the time of flight. That is 2u sine theta divided by g. So 2 into u is 28 into sine of how much? 30 degrees divided by g is 9.8. So 2 and sine 30 will get cancelled. 28 divided by 9.8 will give you the answer. It is somewhat approximately equal to 2.8. I can actually make it 2.9 also, because 28 by 10 is 2.8. 28 by 9.8 will be slightly greater than that. Right. Next, the horizontal distance from the thrower to the point where the ball returns to the same level means they're asking the range. So range is equal to u square sine 2 theta divided by g. So 28 into 28 into sine 2 into 30 is sine 60, that is root 3 by 2. The whole divided by g is 9.8. It's 14. So you can write 2 into 196 divided by 9.8 into root 3. This will go 20 times. So 40 root 3 meters is the answer. Root 3 is 1.7. You can solve it by substituting that value. Did you understand what I did? So I wrote 28 as 2 into 14. And I know 14 into 14 is 196 divided by 9.8. So that is going to give us 20. So 20 into 2, 40, 40 into root 3. Okay.
Sir,
Tell me.
sir, time of flight, sir, isn't it? It should be in seconds.
Oh, sorry. I wrote as.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Tell me.
Sir, in the last chapter, we learned like time of ascent and descent is u by g. But then why an extra 2 is coming over here? Because we saw that
Tell me, please. First.
the maximum height formula was same in this chapter as well as last chapter when we apply
No,
sine
it is
square.
not same. It is not same. There you don't have theta at all. Go and check it. It is u square divided by 2g. Here it is u square sine square theta divided by 2g.
Sir, because there theta is 90.
Here also I showed no time of flight. When you put theta is equal to 90, I showed no, when you put theta is equal to 90, it will be 2u by g.
Sir, isn't time of ascent u by g?
Time of flight, that is time of ascent, means the time taken by the body to go from the lowermost point to the highest point. Means, according to the parabolic path, the time taken to go from O to A is time of ascent. The time taken to go from A to B is time of descent. Then time of ascent will be u sine theta by g. And time of descent will also be u sine theta by g. Are you able to understand?
Okay, sir.
So sum of these two is 2u sine theta by g.
Okay, sir, got it.
Yeah. Read this question carefully and do it. There is an object which is projected with a velocity of 30 meters per second with a vertical. Find the maximum height, time of flight, and horizontal range. What is it you're supposed to be careful with? Actually, the question is incomplete.
Sir, is it vertical along y-axis?
Let's take 30. I don't know what is the value. These answers might match, might not match because I don't remember what is the value. There is an object which is projected at an angle 30 degrees with a velocity of 30 meters per second with a vertical. So what will happen? What is that you need to be careful? When you apply
Why-
those,
Y will become u cos theta.
yes, you need not do all those things. When you apply the formula for H max, u square sine square theta by 2g is there. No, here theta will not, at an angle 30 degrees. I'll not put it as theta, it will confuse you. At an angle 30 degrees. So what should be the value of theta you're going to substitute here?
60.
You should substitute 60. Be careful with that. Except that everything else is the same. So 900 into sine square 60, the whole divided by 2 into g is 10. Is it? So the remaining two also I'm leaving it to you. You guys can do it. So next one. There is a projectile which has a range of 50 meter and reaches a maximum height of 10 meter. Calculate the angle at which it is projected. Okay. So I don't want you to give me the exact value. You can tell me in terms of inverse. So range is equal to u square sine 2 theta divided by g. Maximum height is equal to u square sine square theta divided by 2g. Right? Suppose I divide both. The reason I'm dividing both is because I have no information related to initial velocity. I want u square to get eliminated. So I will be left out with sine 2 theta divided by sine square theta. But what is sine 2 theta? It is 2 sine theta into cos theta divided by sine square theta. Sine and sine will get cancelled. It will become 2 tan theta. 2 tan theta, right? So R is 50 and H max is 10. 2 into tan theta. This and this will get cancelled. So tan theta will be equal to 5 by 2. Then what will be the value of theta, guys? It will be tan
inverse 5 by
5 by 2.
Sir, is writing 2 sine theta and sine 2 theta is same?
No. So you guys have not learned this, sir.
Sir?
Hmm.
Sir, in the first step, like R upon H max, it should be 2 sine 2 theta upon sine square theta, right?
Why you 2 sine 2 theta? Oh, 2 is missing, huh? Then it should be 4. Yeah, correct.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's right. It is 4. Then here also it will be 4. It will be tan inverse of 5 by 4. That's right. So theta will be tan inverse of 5 by 4. Please make the correction. This 4 actually came because sine 2 theta is 2 sine theta cos theta, and there is a 2 from here in the denominator. Okay. By the way, so do you guys know this formula?
And sir-
Sine of, tell me.
Sir, cos theta upon sine theta is cot theta, right?
Oh, I made a mistake there also. Huh? Okay, cot theta. So it should be cot inverse of 5 by 4 cot theta. So cot theta is equal to this thing. So cot inverse of 5 by 4. Okay. So do you guys know this formula? Sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. Have you learned this formula?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If I put A is equal to B in this, what will happen? Sin A will be equal to sin A cos A plus cos A sin A. So sin A into cos A plus sin A into cos A is 2 times sin A into cos A. This is sin 2. So what did you ask? You asked me whether sin 2A is same as 2 sin A, correct? This is
Yes,
what
sir.
you asked? No, they are not, because if I, for example, you can take A is equal to 60 degrees. Okay, I'll take 30 for simplicity. Okay, if I substitute it in both the sides, I'll get sin 60 and the right hand side will be 2 sin 30. This side is 1, this side is root 3 by 2. Obviously, they are not same.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so sin 2 theta is 2 sin theta cos theta. That is the main. Okay, so moving on to the next. Okay, so fourth one. A boy stands at a 39.2 meter. Stands, okay, from a building and throws a ball which just passes through the window, which is at a height of 19.6 meter above the ground. Calculate the velocity of projection of the ball. So I think there is something missing in the question. There is a boy who's standing at 39.2 meter distance from a building and throws a ball which just passes through a window which is at a height of 19.6 meter above the ground. Calculate the velocity of projection.
Sir, we can take H max as 19.6.
You can take it, but theta is not there, no?
Sir, can we take range as 2 into 39.2?
Yeah, that's what we need to do. But one thing, okay, let's see. So range is equal to 2 into 39.2 and H max is 19.6. We just now saw a formula, right? What is the relation between R and H max? So R divided by H max is equal to 4 times cot theta. Right? So R divided by H max is 4 times cot theta. R is 2 into 39.2 divided by 19.6 is equal to 4 times cot theta. This will go 2 times. So cot theta is equal to 1. So what should be the value of theta? Theta should be equal to 45 degrees. Right? When theta is 45 degrees, can we apply the formula R is equal to U square divided by G? Right? Because that is the maximum range possible. So U square is 2 into 39.2 divided by G is how much? 9.8. But it's not coming, no? 1 minute, sorry. So, which implies 2 into 39.2 is equal to U square divided by G is 9.8. So, U square will be how much? 2 into 39.2 into 9.8. So, U will be the square of this meters per second.
Sir, then we don't need theta.
Right? If I didn't know that theta is equal to 45 degrees, I couldn't have applied this formula. Correct?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Right? Shall I proceed to the next one? Have you guys copied it?
1 minute.
Please do.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Please tell.
Sir, if we are traveling in one hot balloon air and then we drop a ball, then will it fall just like that, or it will undergo a
traveling
projection
in-
motion?
You're traveling in?
Hot air balloons.
Okay. In which direction? Upwards, sir.
Yes, sir.
You're not getting drifted due to a drag or something.
No, sir.
You're dropping something from there.
Yes, sir.
You fall vertically. Then you fall vertically. But the only thing is the velocity of that ball will no more be zero because the hot air balloon is already having some velocity. So whatever is the velocity with which you're traveling, the same velocity will be attained by the ball. See, suppose
Yes,
you're
sir.
standing on the top of a building and dropping something. No? You extend your hand and you drop it. Then the velocity of the object is zero. Whereas if you're dropping something with motion, then the object's velocity will become the motion with which you are moving.
So then it will go up and again come down, right?
It will not go up. It will not go up. Only thing is, its velocity will be taken as its velocity will be taken in the upward direction.
Oh, okay, sir.
Can we try this? Calculate the angle of projection for which the horizontal range and the maximum height are equal. Do this, no? You can again tell me in terms of tan inverse. So u square.
The tan inverse 4.
Okay. That's right. So tan theta will be 4 and theta will be tan inverse of 4. Okay. Try this.
Sir, could you show the previous one once again?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
Prove that the maximum horizontal range is 4 times the maximum height attained by the projectile when fired at an inclination so as to have maximum horizontal range. Means when a projectile is projected at such an angle where it is having maximum horizontal range, our work is to prove that the maximum horizontal range is 4 times maximum height. Can you prove this?
Sir, we just already proved that R by H max is 4, right? 4 cos theta.
R by H max is 4 tan theta. Yeah. R by H max is equal to 4. I think it was cot theta, right?
Yes, sir.
4 cot theta. So theta should be how much? 45 degrees for maximum range. So take 45 and substitute it here. R will be equal to 4 times H. Did you understand?
Sir, we can write 4 cot theta as 1 by 4 tan theta also, right?
Yeah. No. 4 cot theta you will write as 4 by tan theta. It's not 1 by 4 tan theta. Right? So R will be equal to 4 times H max. Clear, guys? Shall we proceed to next one? So we'll do one last problem. So there is a ball which is kicked at an angle 30 degrees with the vertical. If the horizontal component of the velocity is 19.6 meters per second, find the maximum height and the horizontal range. So theta is equal to 60 degrees. So u cos 60 is equal to 19.6. So u will be equal to 19.6 into 2 divided by root 3.
So why root 3, sir?
Oh, cos 60. Sorry. So u is equal to 19.6 into this is 39.2 meter per second. Now they are asking the maximum height. The formula is there already. U square sine square 60 divided by 2g is the maximum height. Range is u square sine 2 theta by g. The substitute you get the answer. I hope you guys know what is the value of sine 120, right?
Yes, sir.
How much is it? It is sine of
180
180
minus 60.
and it is sine 60, which is root 3 by 2. Okay. Done. So I'll upload this assignment. Try to do the remaining problems. We'll discuss in the class. After I clear the doubts, tomorrow we'll start relative velocity. That's it, guys. That's it for today. Any other doubt from today's class? Any other doubt from today's class?
Sir?
Tell me.
Sir, could you show the fifth sum, sir? 1 second.
Fifth.
Yes, sir.
Fifth or sixth?
Fifth, sir. Sir, here theta is cos theta upon sin theta, right?
Right? See, 2 will go this side, cos theta will come this side. So sin by cos is tan and 2 into 2, 4. So tan theta is equal to 4. So theta will be tan inverse 4. No?
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
Got it? Yeah. Any other doubt?
Sir, I have the general doubt, sir. It is still not I'm not clear about it.
Clear about what?
Like, why isn't it going up and then again falling down?
It's not going up, right? It's going to fall down.
Sir, if the same thing happened along the x direction,
then it would have
Like-
been something different. If it had happened along x direction, if you drop it, if you follow a parabolic path,
yes, sir, then even in y direction
would
it
have
has
fallen
to
like
be
this.
same, right?
But there it is completely different because of the velocity, no? So you're trying to say the object will go like this and then come down, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That depends on at what time you drop. Maybe there'll be a slight variation that will take place. But since you asked me the path which is followed, path is going to be a straight line. Whereas in this case, it will be parabolic. The reason is very simple. In the case of vertical motion, there is no horizontal component of velocity. If any particle travels along a curved path, then there should be a horizontal component of it. You're able to understand. So in this case, why it is happening? See, for example, you go on a train, like let's say you're having a cup of tea, the plastic cup. Have you ever seen people throwing it out? How will it travel? I'm not sure if you have observed this. Did you ever observe this? Right there?
Sir, yes, sir.
So how will it travel? Have you ever observed? So they will drop it in this direction only, but it will travel in this direction. One of the reasons is because there is a high wind. Right. So had the object been dropped without the wind, then what would have happened is the horizontal component of velocity and the acceleration due to gravity will try to actually put the particle in this kind of a motion, which is still a parabolic path.
Yes, sir.
That is happening only because of horizontal velocity, whereas here it is not. There is no horizontal velocity. It is purely traveling only under the influence of gravity. Your question was about in what path it is going to travel. It is going to be a straight line. Secondly, you are trying to say that it is going to travel in the upward direction and come down. That is not going to happen, right? It is going, maybe it is happening also. If you let's say you have a camera where you can capture very slow motion at 240 fps. Okay, then maybe you can see a slight motion like this and then it will come down.
Okay, sir.
Got it? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we can wind up there. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.